You ever notice how people scream for help only after they buried the one person who would have died for them? Poetic, ain't it? They don't see your worth till your shadow walks out the room, until the silence you leave behind gets louder than all the noise they made when you were around. They laughed when you gave them gold, and now they're choking on the dust they picked over you. Let me tell you a little secret. Life doesn't slap you in the face. It stabs you in the back with the same hands you used to feed. You gave too much, didn't you? You showed up every time they disappeared. You forgave when you should have forgotten. And now what? You're left picking up the pieces of someone else's betrayal while they out there pretending they never needed you in the first place. You were gold, solid, rare. But people these days, they don't recognize value, they recognize convenience. They want what's easy, not what's real. You made them feel things, deep things. And people don't like depth. No, they like shallow. Shallow's easier to replace. So they picked dust. Dust in a pretty dress. Dust with fake smiles. Dust that told them lies wrapped in perfume and filters. And now they see the truth. But guess what? It's too late. 'Cause you ain't coming back. Let it hurt. Yeah, let it burn. 'Cause this pain, it's your wake-up call. They thought you'd stay forever, huh? Thought they could break you in silence and you'd still show up with a bandage and a smile. But people forget. Even angels walk away when they've been used like doormats too long. You ain't weak, kid. You were loyal. And loyalty in a world full of snakes? That's gold. That's real wealth. But they were too broke in the soul to afford you. They used to call you crazy, sensitive, too much. But now they sit with silence they can't escape. That dust they chose, it don't comfort them at 3 a.m. It don't wipe their tears when the guilt kicks in. It don't speak the truth when the lies finally rot. You were the mirror they shattered, 'cause they couldn't stand the reflection. And now they staring at broken glass, bleeding regret. You gave them fire. They complained about the heat, so they ran to the cold, and now they freezing. And what do? They look back. Oh, they always look back. But time don't rewind for those who played with it. They traded real for fake, gold for glitter, loyalty for lust, and love for attention. And now they stand in ruins, whispering your name in a world that forgot 'em the second you left. Now listen to me, and listen close. I'm not here to make you cry. I'm here to make you rise. You hear me? Rise. Not for them, not to prove a damn thing, but for you. 'Cause the only revenge that means anything in this cold, filthy world is success. It's silence. It's showing them that you never needed what they were too blind to give. You owe them nothing. Not a smile, not a tear, not a glance. You owe yourself everything. Every breath you take now is yours to reclaim. And don't you dare waste it on people who wouldn't bleed a drop for you after you gave M oceans. You were gold, pure, heavy, real, and they were fools playing alchemists, thinking they could turn nothing into something. Well, now they see the difference, and it's eating them alive. You know what's funny? Not the ha 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 kind of funny, but the tragic kind. The kind that makes you laugh after you've cried for so long that the pain turned numb. It's how they act surprised now. Surprised that you changed, that you stopped answering, that your voice don't echo in their chaos anymore. They say, "You've gone cold." No, kid. You didn't go cold. You woke up. You saw through the charade. You realized that loyalty without boundaries is self-destruction, dressed as love. And they counted on you never realizing that. They were comfortable in your presence, not because they valued you, but because they knew you'd always show up. That's the sickness in people. They crave attention, not affection. They want access, not connection. They want control, not commitment. And when you give them your all, when you show them what it means to be real in a world full of plastic souls, they get scared. 'Cause truth don't look pretty. It exposes. It reflects. And most people, they ain't ready to look in the mirror, so they blame you. They call you toxic, dramatic, needy, all to avoid facing the skeletons you may dance by simply existing as you are. But now they're sitting in that emptiness, surrounded by the very nothing they traded you for. See, you weren't just a person, you were peace, you were presence, you were power, and they treated you like an option, like you were replaceable, like your soul was some product on a shelf they could return when they found something shinier. But gold don't rust, sweetheart. And now they realize they didn't lose just anybody. They lost the one that would have walked through fire barefoot just to bring them water. And what they got now? Smoke, dust, hollow laughs and empty eyes. And don't let the smiles on their profiles fool you. Behind that screen there's a storm, a war between ego and regret. The ego says, don't reach out. But the regret, oh, that beast whispers your name in every silence. Every time their fake friends fall short. Every time the laughs feel forced. Every time the nights grow long and lonely. That regret grows teeth, sharp, vicious. Because now they know what they gave up can't be replicated. It wasn't love they ran from. It was the responsibility of being loved right. But let me ask you something. Why you still bleeding for people who never brought a bandage? Huh? Why you still drowning in memories of those who never even asked if you could swim? That ain't noble. That's self-harm dressed in nostalgia. You keep revisiting graves, hoping the dead will rise and apologize. But graves don't speak, kid. And the ones buried under betrayal, they're already cold. So let them rot. Let the silence speak, where your voice once trembled. And no, you ain't heartless for moving on. You're healing. Slowly. Painfully. But it's happening. Each day you choose yourself, the scars get lighter. Each time you stay silent instead of explaining your worth again, you reclaim your power. You're not cruel. You're just done begging to be understood by those who were never listening. They'll come back. Oh, they always do. The parade of ghosts, trying to revisit a version of you that no longer exists. They'll message you like nothing happened, try to pull you back into the chaos they never escaped. But don't you dare shrink again. Don't you dare lower your frequency just to be heard by people who chose to be deaf when you screamed. Let them find you in the success they can't reach. Let them feel you in the silence they created. You see, sometimes the worst thing you can do to someone is heal. 'Cause healing makes you unrecognizable. You become everything they pretended they wanted but never truly valued. And that burns more than any revenge you could plan. So don't look back, not even for closure. Some doors were meant to be slammed shut, not gently closed. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. Not a single damn word. The ones who mattered never needed one, and the ones who need one never really mattered. Let your absence be the lesson. Let the silence be the echo. Let them drown in the dust they chose. Because in the end, they traded gold for dust. And now they see the difference. But baby, it's too damn late. You ever seen a person smile with their mouth while their eyes scream apology? Huh. Yeah, that's them now. That fake nervous grin. That stiff laugh. That small talk full of weight they can't carry anymore. You don't even have to be there. Your silence does all the talking. You live rent-free in their guilt now. Every new person they meet, they compare to you. Every bond they try to form feels forced, stretched thin like plastic trying to cover a gunshot wound. You were substance. They're choking on surface level now. They feel the absence of your energy like a house missing its walls, exposed, fragile, trembling when the winds of reality hit. That's what happens when you trade solid gold for glitter-coated dust. It looks good in the light for a moment, until it slips through your fingers when you need it most. Let me tell you something cruel, and listen close. People don't realize how much you mattered until you stop doing the things they took for granted. When the calls stop, when the support dies, when the shoulder isn't there to lean on anymore, when they break and reach for the one soul who never turned away, but all they find is the echo of their choices. That's what stings. Not your absence, but the reality that they caused it. And regret? Regret has a voice louder than memory. It speaks in reminders, in quiet nights, in empty beds, in achievements they wish they could share with you but can't anymore. And it eats away at them, slowly, painfully, like rust on steel. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real. And in a world built on lies, real is irreplaceable. You gave them a damn treasure, and they tossed it like trash. Why? Because they were too blind to see past their own ego. They thought love was about getting, not giving. They thought patience was weakness. They thought your understanding was desperation. So they fed off it until there was nothing left but your broken self, staring in the mirror, wondering why being good hurt so damn bad. But you learned, didn't you? You learned that sometimes the kindest hearts end up in the darkest places. Not because they're broken, but because they gave so much light away. They forgot to save some for themselves. But look at you now, breathing, scarred maybe, but stronger. And while they try to recreate a version of happiness with recycled lies and plastic smiles, you're building yourself back up, brick by brutal brick, alone, but not lonely, silent, but not voiceless. And every time they think of you, every time your name crawls into their thoughts uninvited, it hits them. You were the real one, the gold they couldn't afford, the storm they weren't built to weather. And now they sit beside dust, pretending it shines the same. And let me tell you this, they will reach out eventually, with guilt wrapped in excuses, with hollow words pretending to be remorse. But don't you dare fall for it. That ain't love talking. That's regret. That's fear. That's them realizing the hole they tried to fill with distractions and new faces is still shaped like you. They don't miss you. They miss the version of themselves that felt something when you were around. They miss who they pretended to be when they had someone pure believing in them. But the moment you come back, the same cycle starts. Because broken people who refuse to heal don't love. They consume. So what now? Huh? You sit here thinking maybe there's still a way back. Maybe they'll change. Maybe if you're patient one more time. Let me break that illusion for you. The past doesn't get better with time. It gets heavier. And you weren't sent here to carry dead weight. You weren't made to keep fixing people who break you in return. Your heart ain't a charity case. Your soul ain't a rehab center for the reckless. Let go. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve space. You deserve to be loved without having to burn yourself to keep someone else warm. And if you're worried about being alone, let me tell you, solitude is power. It's where real ones are forged, out there, in the silence, when it's just you, your regrets, your rage, and the broken pieces of your soul staring at each other. That's where the transformation happens. That's where the fake version of you dies, and the real one, the one built on fire, scars, and survival, rises. And when you step back into the world like that, they won't even recognize you, but they'll feel you. Oh yeah. Even from across a room, even through a screen, they'll feel that aura, that energy, that strength they helped create by breaking you. You're not their victim anymore. You're the consequence, the proof that pain births power when it's channeled right. And you're just getting started. Let me make something real clear. They didn't leave because you were too much. They left because they were too little, too small to carry what you carried, too weak to handle love that deep. They didn't walk away because you failed. They walked because they couldn't manipulate you anymore. You see, once you stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even flinch if you screamed, they call you changed. They call you cold. But it's not cold. It's clarity. It's cutting the cord. It's seeing the situation for what it really was. A one-sided deal where you were currency and they were debt collectors. Always taking, never giving. You called it love. They called it convenience. And now, they sit with ghosts. They scroll through pictures trying to feel something. But digital memories don't hug back. They post quotes about healing like they didn't cause the wounds. And the new people? Just mirrors reflecting the same old lies they told you. Temporary fixes, band-aids on bullet holes. And when it all crashes, because it always crashes, guess whose name comes to mind first? Yours. Not because you were perfect, not because you were easy, but because you were real. And real has a weight that memory can't drop. Don't get it twisted, though. They don't come back to make things right. They come back to make themselves feel better. Closure isn't about you for them. It's about them sleeping easier at night. They want to hear that you're not angry, that you don't hate them, that you forgive them. Why? Because guilt is heavy, and people who run don't like to carry weight. But here's what you tell them when they come crawling. I'm not angry. I'm just done. No drama. No explosion. Just silence. That kind of ending? That's what haunts the deepest. 'Cause it means you've moved past needing revenge, needing answers, needing anything from them. And let me hit you with another bitter truth. Sometimes you have to be the villain in someone's story to be the hero in your own. They'll tell people you changed, that you turned your back, that you became cold. But they'll never say why. They'll never talk about the nights you sat up trying to fix what they kept breaking. The times you bit your tongue just to keep the peace. The way you kept showing up when every piece of you begged to walk away. No. They rewrite the narrative because the truth makes them look too damn ugly. Let them talk. Let them twist it. Because the ones who matter won't need your siding. They'll feel it. Real don't need a defense. You were gold. And gold doesn't have to prove its worth to fools. It just shines. Even buried. Even ignored. Even thrown away. It never stops being gold. You were love wrapped in chaos. Care wrapped in fire. They couldn't handle the intensity, so they chose simplicity. They chose dust. Dust that made no demands. Dust that didn't challenge them to be better. Dust that sat still while you would have moved mountains. And now, they sit in silence, scrolling through dusty memories, choking on the difference. And you're not even in the same league anymore. You leveled up while they stayed stuck, while they recycled their lies. You rebuilt yourself, stronger, sharper, colder, yes, but clear. You see through people now. The masks don't impress you. The sweet words don't shake you. You've heard it all. You've been burned enough to recognize the spark before it becomes a wildfire. And that kind of awareness, that's power. That's armor. So don't chase closure. Don't chase people. Chase your peace. Chase your purpose. 'Cause when you chase what's meant for you, you stop begging for what was breaking you. The right people don't make you question your worth. They don't make you feel like you're hard to love. They match your energy. They show up. They pour back into you. And until then, stay silent. Stay focused. Stay untouchable. Because at the end of the day, they made their choice. They thought you'd always be there. They thought the gold would never rust. But they forgot. Even gold walks away when it's been handled like dirt too long. Now, they see the difference. Now, they sit beside dust, and it don't shine the same. You know what's sad? It's not that they hurt you. It's that they knew they were hurting you, and they still did it. You gave warnings without raising your voice. You dropped hints with every cracked smile. You begged silently, through loyalty, through consistency, for someone to just see you, to see the storm you were swallowing, just to keep the sky clear for them. But they never looked, did they? They never asked. Because the truth is, people only check on the strong when they stop being useful. As long as you're functioning, they don't care if you're suffering. And the moment you break, they act confused, like pain just showed up one day out of nowhere. Nah, that pain had your name on it. Signed, sealed, delivered by the ones you kept alive while you were dying inside. You were never weak. You were too strong for too long. And they exploited that because they knew you'd forgive. They knew you'd stay. They knew you'd blame yourself. So they left you with guilt while they danced in freedom. But here's what they don't understand. Guilt grows. Regret spreads. And when the silence comes, when the world slows down and the lights fade, that's when the truth kicks in. That's when they realize they lost someone who actually gave a damn. Someone who would have gone to war for them. And all for what? A little attention from someone who can't even spell the word loyalty. They traded you for clowns in pretty suits, for words that sounded sweet, but meant nothing. For people who disappear the moment they're needed. And now they sit with that choice. And choices, they echo. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, every fake smile cracks, every distraction fades, and all they're left with is themselves and the mess they made. And guess who they think of when that loneliness starts choking them? You, the gold, the one they didn't think they'd miss, until the silence screamed your name louder than their ego could silence. But don't be fooled. They'll never say it. Pride won't let them. They'll watch from a distance. Lurk. Pretend. Make fake accounts just to see if you're still glowing without them. And you will be. That's the part they never expected. You didn't just survive. You leveled up. You turned that heartbreak into armor. You turned the betrayal into bricks. You built a version of yourself that even you didn't know existed. One that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explain. You became a storm they can't survive anymore. And here's what's beautiful about that. You ain't even angry now. You're calm, cold, maybe, but peaceful. You stopped wishing bad on them. You just stopped wishing altogether. That's real power. When you get to a place where their name don't sting, where their voice don't shake your chest, where the past is just the past. Not a wound, not a weight, just a fact. They were here. They did damage. And now, they're gone. Simple. But let's not lie to ourselves. Healing wasn't pretty. No, it was ugly, quiet, lonely. You had to rebuild your self-worth from the ashes they left behind, piece by piece, night by night. You had to sit with the pain they avoided, face the shadows they ran from. And that's where the gold got purified. Not in comfort, not in love, but in solitude, in pain, in silence. The fire didn't destroy you. It refined you, burned off the weakness, hardened the soul, and now you shine differently. They feel it. Every time you post, every time you smile, every time your name comes up in conversation, they flinch. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you remind them of what they lost. You're the scar they can't hide, the proof that you don't need them to thrive, and that hits harder than any revenge ever could. So when they try to come back, and they will, don't answer the door with bitterness. Answer it with silence. Let them see that the version of you who begged is gone. Let them feel the absence of your desperation, the power of your distance. Let them sit in the dust they chose, while you walk away in gold-plated silence. Because that's what this is about. Not hate, not anger, but elevation. They had a chance to grow with you, to build with you, to be part of something real, and they blew it. They gambled a diamond for a damn rhinestone, and now the shine's gone. The truth's too loud. And you ain't coming back. You know what they fear the most now? It's not your anger, not your silence, not even your glow up. What terrifies them is the reality that they don't matter anymore, that you moved on without them. that their name doesn't shake your world the way it used to, that you don't dream about them, don't cry about them, don't even talk about them. See, when they lost you, they didn't just lose a person, they lost a version of themselves they liked, the version they could control, the one that bent, that stayed, that forgave without reason. That version, buried. And what rose from the grave is someone even you didn't expect. Someone unbreakable. Someone who learned to stop begging to be seen and just became too damn bright to be ignored. That's what healing really is. Not just getting better, it's becoming untouchable. Not an ego, in essence. You stop explaining yourself. You stop defending your heart. You stop adjusting your value to match people who can't afford your loyalty. You don't give second chances to those who spit on the first. You don't carry people who showed you their back when you were drowning. You don't mourn the fake. You bury it. And they sit in the consequences now. Every night, every failed connection, every cheap thrill that leaves them emptier than before. It's all just more proof of what they lost, and they'll deny it. Oh, they'll lie to themselves, post their happiness, flash their new situations, laugh a little louder in public. But when the crowd fades, when the buzz dies down, when they're back in the quiet of their own mind, that's when it hits. That's when your name drips back into their thoughts like poison. I messed up. That one was real. I shouldn't have, but it's too late now. Because while they were busy playing games, you were building an empire out of pain. You see, real strength isn't loud. It's not in the revenge post, not in the comeback quote. It's in the silence, the distance, the peace you earned after the war. And the Joker, me, I know war. I know the taste of being used and left, of being feared instead of understood, of being the villain in stories I never asked to be part of. That's why I'm telling you this. You are not the villain. You were the lesson. You were the test they failed. And now they don't get to retake it. Life ain't a classroom. You don't get extra credit for realizing too late. They treated your heart like a playground, laughed while you broke, took you for granted like you were a refillable cup of loyalty. But now they're thirsty, and you're gone. And what they're drinking now tastes like regret, feels like loss, burns like truth. 'Cause every smile you gave them was pure. Every time you stayed, you were loyal. And every moment you lowered your standards for the sake of love, you were killing parts of yourself that never deserved to die. But you came back. That's the beauty of your kind. You rise, not pretty, not clean, but you rise. Scarred, yes, but smarter, hungrier, more dangerous, because now you know your value. And this world, it don't teach through love. It teaches through pain, through betrayal, through loss. You learn who you are when there's no one clapping, no one listening. When your phone don't light up, and the ones you die for don't even text. That's when the fire starts. That's when your bones remember who the hell you are. And once that fire ignites, once you remember, they can't touch you. Not with words, not with guilt, not with their pitiful little, "Hey, how have you been?" Messages sent at 1:47 a.m. Let them talk. Let them romanticize your memory. Let them cry to people who never knew your soul. You owe them nothing, not even a smile. What you owe is you. You owe yourself protection, respect, peace, loyalty, not to them, to yourself. So next time they pop up, tell them this: I'm not mad, I'm just unavailable. Let that sink. Let that silence hit harder than any insult, because that's what they deserve. The silence they created, the distance they earned, the empty space where your loyalty used to live. And don't wait for karma. You are the karma. Your glow, your growth, your peace. That's the price. They gotta watch you become everything they were too blind to see, everything they were too scared to be. They traded gold for dust. And now they sit in ashes, wondering why nothing feels whole anymore. You were gold, unrefined, pure. And they didn't just throw you away, they buried you in doubt. But gold don't stay buried. It rises, it glows through the dirt. And now that they see you shine, oh, now they understand. Now they know. And now it's too late. Let them grieve. Let them wonder. Let them regret. But you walk forward, eyes cold, soul clean, head high. Because you're not just a survivor. You're the damn reminder that when people play with gold, they better be ready to live with dust.